Welcome back. It's Monday, so he's going to be in a great mood. It's Mike Eppel. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm
Good
doing
morning.
well. How are you? Mondays, right?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's
It's
okay.
all right. Start of a new week.
You got it.
Optimistic.
That's the way to put it. That's
Yeah.
the way to do it. Okay, so, here's some, I can't even think of more optimistic, positive news than to see vaccines landing in Canada, the first doses. This is going to provide a lot of hope also for investors, too.
Absolutely. It's the ripple effect of the psychological effect, I think, more than anything else, Melanie, because, of course, this is going to be a long process to get these vaccines into the arms of Canadians and people worldwide. But, it's the start. And after the gong show of the year that we have had so far, any type of optimism should be taken as such. And, we've seen this play out on the markets and to some extent a disconnect between the real economy and what the equity markets have been doing. But again, this morning, the reopening of the economy in 2021 is the big bet. And we're watching that play out with stock prices rising. Commodity prices are climbing. The price for oil is at its highest level in 9 months. The Dow Jones looks to be ready to jump by about a couple of hundred points right off the bat this morning. So, yeah, we'll take it as it is. It's better than the alternative where we're just, sitting around going, goodness knows, when is this all going to end? Hopefully this is the start, the beginning of that process.
Hopefully, and let's hope 2021 is the year, the good year, that things get turned
That's
around.
Right. That's right.
What's sad, though, is we're seeing a number of businesses struggling, and this is a big one here, and obviously tourism is at play.
Yeah, the announcement Friday, we actually got it in that as of today, the Sheraton Centre Hotel in downtown Toronto is temporarily closing. This is, at this time of year, would be one of their busiest times of the year for tourism and travel. And I mean, that's a big business conduit. But, the shutdown of conferences. There have been no conferences for how many months?
Yeah.
These hotels feed off that. And this ripple effect that we've seen in the downtown core with the towers, of all the big banks at maybe 15% capacity, maybe. On a big day, for goodness sakes. You see it on the GO train. Nobody's on the GO train lines. They've reduced service. I mean, it is just this, and again, how long it lasts. And again, it's a temporary shutdown of the Sheraton Centre. They're not closing indefinitely or anything of that nature. We have to specify that. But right now, they just don't have the business numbers to justify necessarily keeping the doors open. And we've heard about some other hoteliers looking at how long does this go on, and what kind of support financially can we get to keep the lights on next year.
Absolutely. You think about the number of people that are employed across the tourism industry as well.
That
huge.
has been why we've still seen employment numbers below where they were prior to the pandemic, because there are still some sectors that are pretty much in shutdown mode.
Absolutely. And finally here, obviously gyms are not allowed to operate right now. Toronto's in lockdown mode. We are still seeing that ripple effect here.
Yeah, the operator of the Adelaide Club and the Toronto Athletic Club. My goodness, I used to be a member of the Toronto Athletic Club when I lived downtown years ago. Played squash back when my knees could let me do that. I digress. The owner of three of Bay Street's most prestigious athletic clubs, they have looked for bankruptcy protection, looking for support from their creditors, and it appears they are getting that to survive the pandemic. But like you say, if you can't have clients into your sports facilities, there's no revenue being generated. All of a sudden, you still have to pay the rents to your landlord. The debts pile up, and the Globe and Mail says the debt load is now $7 million for a company that had maybe $500,000 in debt at the start of this year. I mean, it has just accelerated here, and you still have to pay that, so you got to refinance.
My goodness.
But that's a signal. That's a signal about what's going on in the core of the city.
And that rent is not cheap. We know that.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And these are businesses that have been around for generations almost. But this has certainly been a year like none other.
Oh boy. And Mike Eppel plays squash. We're learning more things.
I used to. I listen. and I wasn't particularly good. It's the side-to-side moment. It's very hard on the knees.
It's very difficult. Very difficult. Okay. One day.
I was like John Candy in the movie Splash, playing with Tom Hanks way back when. And then crashing into the boards.
When we are out of this, Mike Eppel, we are going to do a squash match. I know Devo Brown, he's really good at badminton. Devo, this is a little known fact. Devo competed in OFSA. If you know what OFSA is, at a provincial level, right? He's pretty good.
Impressive. I mean, I'm all right. Badminton I can do. Tennis I can do. Squash I am absolute trash at. I am so bad at squash. It's unbelievable.
Get into those corners.
It's so weird. I have a friend that will play tennis against each other. He's never won a set against me. Not one in like 5 years. Not one set. And he just absolutely ruins my self-esteem when we play squash.
There is not a sport where I can think you can just sweat as much as when you're playing squash.
It's a great workout.
It's a matchup. Mike, as always, we'll talk to you tomorrow, and we'll figure out that match in the new year.